for Black America, it's just another year. You knew the disrespect by your elected puppeteers, but let me show you how to persevere.
You know what? Facebook. Facebook, what's good, y'all? Hey.
We live.
We are live. Who said it was a lockdown? Oh my.
Time heals all, but you out of time now. Judge gotta watch us from the clock tower.
Yeah.
Little TNGS clear the whole place out.
Talk that.
Like you was stating just now.
Hey, this will be a dope song to skate to. If you don't know who we listening to, this is like a theme song for 2020. This was Lockdown by Anderson .Paak. Dope song.
But vocally, that's him rapping.
Yeah.
Vocally, he sound like Q-Tip.
Yeah, he got a kind of like, he got a similar tone. Anderson .Paak is dope. He could play the drums and sing at the same time. That's like a rare gift. You don't have a lot of people do that.
That's very rare.
He can play
sing, like he can sing stuff.
Like he can lead sing. Yeah, Anderson sings. Like you never heard him sing? Yeah, he sings. He raps.
I mean, still really good play that he's singing.
I'll post some stuff for you afterwards. But yeah, Anderson .Paak sings. He plays the drums.
Shout yourself out in the comments who we have here.
Yeah. If you're here in the building, let us know. Yo, what's going on? Body Scope, I see you in the building. Brent, I see you, baby. What's up?
Good.
If you don't know who we're listening to, this is Anderson .Paak, Lockdown. Dope track. It's the last show of the year, y'all. So I was like, what song really kind of like embodied the vibe of the year to me? And this was a dope one. It's a vibe, it's a bop. And at the same time, it's like, you know, he really talking the truth about like what we were going through this year, you know? Man, there was a lot of protests, you know what I'm saying? People got a little ridiculous during some of these protests. Right?
Is he playing the bass too?
Yeah, he plays bass guitar, he plays
so that's him on that bass stuff.
I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the production values of who
it gives me the
oh yeah, it kind of gives you a feel like Busta Rhymes. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. You should have been downtown. I'm sorry, I had to let this one ride, y'all, because this is a dope little track. Yeah. Who said it was a lockdown? Goddamn, like
if you're on joining us. This is exactly how he skates, y'all. Thing is, Juan, you know how, you know that saying where it's like, oh, you out here trying to be cute. I don't know the correct adjective to describe it, but Juan, when he skate, he not trying to be all fast. He out there trying to be smooth with it. He get to snapping his finger. He be lifting one leg real slow, like boom, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum. He be trying to be a smooth cat daddy when he skate.
I'm just trying to have fun out here, you know.
No, he be
having a little fun out here.
The equivalent of what a girl trying to do when she's trying to be cute, that's Juan when he skate.
I don't know, they make it sound like I'm a little too sassy. No,
that's
chilling. You know
I said smooth. The equivalent of a girl trying to be cute, what she doing, whatever she doing, you be a smooth cat daddy. You be doing this a little slow, like, and then you be lifting one little leg, like, and then you bite your bottom lip, like.
Oh, not the bottom lip. Oh man, if you got any comments, let us know.
Well, you want to start us off? Drum roll, go ahead.
All right, cool. Oh yeah, it's your boy Jay DaCosta.
And it is your girl Katniss.
And together we are the Nitty Gritty. Look, y'all, this is the last show of 2020. I think we're all ecstatic to be finally going into 2021. But I remember in 2019 we was all like, 2020 about to be my year. And then 2020 was some. So look, I'm happy to be going into 2021. I am hopeful and prayerful that it could be better than this year. It's not like 2020 set the bar terribly high. So
2020 was the donkey of the year.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
You are the donkey
so
of the year. Yeehaw.
Sing it. So yeah, so today, you know, we don't have anything particularly to talk about. We just want to kind of review the year. We want you to review the year with us. Give us y'all thoughts on the year. What did you think? How did you feel?
We gonna be self-reflective. Do we have anybody shut this stuff out? What's going on? I'm
there we go.
There we go.
There we go. What's up, Herman?
I'm a little concerned.
Clarksville, Tennessee in the building.
Hello.
Yeah.
Happy Sunday.
If you guys are just joining us, this is the last show of the year. We're gonna reflect back on this year and talk about it. And if you haven't noticed, oh yes, we are wearing Nitty Gritty gear. Branded. Boom.
Hold on.
Boom. Yeah, I see it. We're rocking the Nitty Gritty Show pullovers.
You want one? You can get one. I got the yellow one.
Mama Hawkins, I see you. Cleveland, Tennessee in the building.
Mama Hawkins, if you want a new Nitty Gritty Show pullover, Papa Utar, if you want a pullover, we got the Adidas. It's very comfortable. It's plush.
It's nice. This is something that you can definitely rock.
See, I got the yellow for the girls. You got the black for the guys.
Yeah. Once again, you can go to www.squadlocker.com. You search the Nitty Gritty Show. As I always say, you gotta type the whole thing like A Tribe Called Quest, the Nitty Gritty Show, and under there you'll find some of the stuff that we're rocking today. You'll see polo shirts. We have arrangements with Rydell, Under Armour, Adidas, and some others. Really cool stuff. Get yourself a shirt, get yourself a hat, something. Represent the Nitty Gritty. And we still have some mugs available. I'm sipping a little coffee out my mug today. So good. Hey, we gotta pay these bills, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we'll be doing that. So we thank everybody who's been tuning in. We're gonna have fun tonight. Let's hit up some current news really quick first. We'll run through this really fast. Coronavirus vaccine, we'll see, is it's being shipped out and disseminated to all these people. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little weary when they start putting so much emphasis on how they have to give the black community the virus first, because the vaccine first, because when have you ever put us first? I mean, we have protest on protest this year about how we don't have equal rights. Y'all not jumping all over that.
Well, I think if you guys have a comment on this topic, please put it in the comment box. I do find it interesting that they're trying to market black folks to take the vaccine first. And if we know anything, one of the reasons why a lot of black people are leery is because throughout history, the health
experiment,
the syphilis, anything dealing with health has never been to benefit the betterment of black people.
All the black women that were tortured, because this wasn't stuff that was under the guise of practice. All the black women that were tortured, I forget the doctor's name, it was like Colvin.
They did this for eugenics too.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's like the father of OBGYN, but what he did is he practiced on slave black women.
Yeah.
And the thing that he told people in general, so they could feel better about what he was doing, is that, black people are more resistant to pain, but cesareans, hysterectomies, all these various surgeries were practiced on slave black women.
Yeah.
And there's a reason to this day that black women don't get the support and pain meds they need in hospitals. Even though we know this was based off slavery and hate and so many things, it's still been trickled down through our medical system to the point that when black women go into labor or go to the hospital, you guys don't get the care that you need. And it's because this guy who created all these different processes for the female body used slave women to practice on. That is sick when you think about it. Yeah, there's these medical benefits, but what was the cost, right? And in a lot of ways, black women are still paying the cost.
Well, let us know, are you planning to take the vaccine, yes or no? So I have a friend who is a medical doctor. She definitely gave her, her 2 cents, saying that she feels that we should get the vaccine. She thinks it's going to help save more lives.
Elisa, what's good? DMV in the building.
Tested and proven. I feel like I'm not sure. I am unsure if I'm going to get the vaccine. Doesn't mean yes, doesn't mean no. It just means I'm unsure right now. I have a lot of mixed feelings, and currently, since I have not had corona and the people that I normally interact with haven't had corona, I don't know. I don't feel like maybe it's ignorant of me to feel like I'm not going to get it. I don't know. Maybe that's ignorant.
I don't take the flu shot, so I mean, me personally, I don't really do vaccines. Now I will say this. And then I'm going to move on so we can get down to the nitty gritty. But I will say this about vaccines and things to consider. For some of those out there, if you're the type that you're smoking cigarettes, you're doing drugs, and you live in that kind of life, you shouldn't be afraid to put nothing in your body.
That kind of life.
You live in that kind of life, you need to go ahead and take that vaccine because you're taking everything else. Now, also keep in mind, America, one of the reasons why we got hit so hard with the virus, and as far as the number of deaths and everything is it feeds off unhealthy bodies. America is a very unhealthy nation. We eat like crap. When you look at processed food, junk food, fast food, and the fact that a lot of us are not taking in real nutrition, and some of us don't have access to whole food, i.e. the various food deserts that are sprawled across the United States, not just in the hood, but in the trailer park as well. Hello. So a lot of us aren't healthy. A lot of us are obese and overweight. So therefore, that virus, just goes crazy in an environment like ours. There's a reason why those healthier, smaller nations aren't experiencing the level of death and transportation of the virus like we have. Mm-hmm. So that takes a part. So Elisa says she'll wait before she get vaccinated, and I feel you. But I will say, for those who exercise, who try to keep yourself relatively thin or healthy, and those who take things like, my mother's gonna love this, apple cider with the mother, right?
Oh my goodness.
Those people that take their black seed oil, their fish oil, their omega-3.
Love apple cider with the mother.
Yeah.
You guys said the mother correctly.
Exactly.
That's how she said
the vitamin C and all of that. You guys may not be in the rush to take the vaccine, but for those who are obese and overweight and you live pretty unhealthy lives, you don't care enough about your body now to say, I'm not going to take the vaccine. Sorry, but not sorry. You should take it. Moving on, other current news. Yesterday was Versus. This may not be one that a lot of you guys tuned in on, but it was a really big deal. Versus was last night. It was E40 versus Too Short. Both of them rappers that have been around from the Bay Area, that have been, or as they said, the Yay area, been around since the 80s. It was pretty fun. There was some songs on there like Throw the Whistle, Shake That Monkey. I can remember those from college. So, I had a good time watching it. It was a good time. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. Our year in review. I want you guys to start shouting out your biggest 2020 highlights or most memorable moments. Some that I named, for me, I feel like, obviously COVID's up there, but for me, number one was a lot of the Black Lives Matter protests. If y'all remember, before, made me say yes, apple cider vinegar. Before COVID kicked off, you remember one of the bigger things to really to start things off was the various deaths that happened this year. Ahmaud Arbery, and then was first. And I remember a lot of us back in February and March. Huh?
Never mind. From that topic, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I remember Kobe Bryant being like the first 2020.
Well, that was a big thing too, and we're going to talk about some of these horrific deaths that happened this year. But you remember Ahmaud Arbery was like one of the, besides Kobe Bryant, was one of the larger news stories that kind of kicked off Black Lives Matter in a big way. Ahmaud Arbery, for those that forget, he was running in Georgia, minding his own business, and then two men, which they were denied bail recently, or denied bond, so hopefully they will be convicted, but they decided to chase him down in a truck and they killed him. And a lot of us ran so many miles to commemorate his death, and his birthday. I remember I ran about 5 miles that day in honor of Ahmaud Arbery, and countless others did. And then so we seen like this wave of Black Lives Matter protest. And then unfortunately, George Floyd died, Breonna Taylor died. Many of us saw George Floyd's death and how the police department did him. Breonna Taylor was also another death by police department in Louisville, where they did a no-knock warrant and they came in there and the boyfriend fired back, which was his right, considering that's why he is free at this moment. And she died, and she was an EMT. So, this really, I think, after so many deaths before that, right? Just countless situations from 2019 and all the way going back to Trayvon Martin, black people were pissed off, if you guys remember, and a lot of them are still pissed off. And there was a lot of protests. There was the March on Washington 2020, 57 years since the original one. This was a big year of protests. I would say that what was refreshing to me during all of this is we seen police departments start kneeling for the first time. Some of them in solidarity for us, some of them not kneeling for us, but they were kneeling. You got to know context of what they were doing it for. But we seen the NFL finally drop down and admit that Colin Kaepernick was correct. Mm-hmm. So we seen the NBA get behind it. We seen multiple businesses get behind it. We saw Black Lives Matter Way. That was cool. DC was the first, right? Muriel Bowser, first to write Black Lives Matter on the road. She actually renamed it Black Lives Matter Way. If you go to that part of 16th Street, you'll see that that's called Black Lives Matter Way now. And then you've seen a lot of businesses post Black Lives Matter. I thought that was cool to stand in solidarity. Obviously, we always can ask for them to do more, or there's other ways to help, but some people don't know how. And if the best thing you can think of is if you're Activision, the people that make Call of Duty, and before the game comes on, you see Black Lives Matter, I thought that was kind of cool. You know, so that was big to me. If you guys have any comments, feel free to hit us up. I don't see any that came in so far. What do you think about Black Lives Matter protests? Do you think that was pretty big to you, or how did you feel about some of it?
Yeah, I was proud of it. I had never seen anything like that in my lifetime, so for me it was inspiring to see so many young people, and to see us have a lot of support from people who weren't black. And it seemed like this was the first time that we really, as a nation, got the attention of people everywhere. Like, we've been saying it for years. They'd be like, oh, those black people are always complaining. But I feel like it finally hit home this year. Like, okay, there really is a problem with police brutality, and we need to, like, jump in the movement. But I know we're talking about our accomplishments this year. I'm proud of myself because I never aspired to do anything in the STEM field but to get an award and I'll get all of my certifications and really push myself and go to school this year. It was a lot of hard work, but I somehow made it work with COVID. I even started painting again. I didn't finish my paintings, but that was
You said you started.
Yeah, I started some paintings. I didn't finish. Like, that one's undone over there. But
that's cool.
Yeah. Those are some accomplishments. So what accomplishments did you guys have this year?
Not really quite there yet, but go
2020. No, well, you said in the very beginning, like, things we're proud of. That's what you said.
I was talking about the downs first. It's cool, it's whatever.
I thought you said that the protest was a positive.
2020 highlights and most memorable moments.
Yeah, so I'm talking about my highlights.
Okay.
So what was your highlights this year?
All right, y'all give us some of your highlights this year. Mamie said kudos to you, Katrina. Nice.
I appreciate it.
COVID was a big thing this year. I think that was you can't escape what COVID was. It really changed the way people communicate and live this year.
Is that considered a highlight?
I mean, it was some of the most memorable moments. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just...
Well, we're still living in COVID, but it definitely changed everything. And for Juan and I, we were originally talking about getting married in August, and literally, I want to say, if I remember something correctly, it was maybe like a few weeks after we had talked about that date. Things were like...
Yeah, because we made that
spiraling out of control.
We made that decision back in early February, or late January. So we was going for August 8th initially to get married, August 8th of this year. And we started talking about the date back in January and February because initially in 2019, shortly after I proposed, I was like, yeah, August 8th, that's cool. Before hurricane season and all that kind of stuff.
I didn't know your dad said he's finishing college today. Congratulations.
Yeah.
He about to get his bachelor's?
Yeah, in music.
Why didn't you say anything today?
I was going to get to that when I started talking about the positives of the year.
He said it.
He put it out there. That's what's up.
He didn't tell me, Mr. Utar. So congratulations to you. That's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah. Really proud of him. He's done a lot of cool work in music. He's got a chance to collaborate with some really dope artists, people across the world in his program. So I think that's super cool.
A BA in music?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Dope.
Yep. What was I saying before? Oh yeah, I was talking about the wedding date. 2020, we was doing August 8th, and then it was February, January. We decided, let's go ahead and push it back. And then COVID hit, and it was like we kind of lucked out because you're in the bride's chat group, aren't you?
I am in the bride's chat group. Everybody when they went into 2021.
Yeah.
Question for everybody, including Juan. Do we still know the origin of how COVID came to be? Because they were saying it was a bat, but then there were some rumors saying that it was created in the lab by some doctor from Harvard. So do we know how it came to be?
Well, there was a whole legal case back in the end of 2019 indicting a gentleman from Harvard and a foreign national from China for the creation of COVID.
So did they confirm that's how that started?
If somebody please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how COVID got started. It was created in the lab.
So where did they say a bat? Where did they get that bat from?
I think that was the initial thing, and I think a lot of people were watching those movies where it came from a bat and a pig, blah 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 blah, and that's how it came about. They found, but I think a lot of them are referring to movies. If you're referring to actual COVID, there was a case of COVID-19 that was referenced in 2019, I think around November, and they were talking about how this disease was created and all that kind of stuff. It was like a whole court case in the United States, but it just wasn't. It never made big news, you know, because there was so much other things going on. So
in this year, didn't they say that the amount of deaths worldwide has now surpassed all of the major wars?
something like that.
That's
it's horrible.
scary.
Yeah, I mean, America's around 260,000 at this point alone, and we make up about a fifth of the world's deaths. I think the world is somewhere around like 1 million at this point, a little over 1 million deaths. So yeah, that would be more than a war. Yeah. So pretty scary. Another big thing this year. So Herman said, is Trump right that it's a disease from China? Yes and no, because they leave out the fact that a Harvard student who's an American national actually helped create the disease. So
to create biological warfare, right?
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of two-part, and then he blames China for a lot of stuff, but he forgets that Russia had a huge involvement in attacking our country and continuously attacking our country via the internet. Speaking of the internet, 5G was a big thing this year. I know a lot of you may not be in like telecom and all that, but 5G is a big deal because it is the fourth industrial revolution, and a lot of people, conspiracy theorists wise, are thinking that 5G is what created COVID, right? But 5G is going to be the kind of technology outside of any type of conspiracy theory. On the real, 5G will be the technology that creates machines controlling machines truly. When you start thinking about AI, AI is a real thing. This is not just like Terminator or something of the future. No, AI is going on now. When you look at 5G and how they're computing at the edge of the network. If you look at the gaming industry right now, if you look at a lot of federal agencies and what they're doing with cloud, they're using form of AI to help control and manage all of that technology and all of that database that they're saving up there. And this is going to be the technology that brings us drones that can fly and deliver your mail. This is going to be the technology that brings us self-driving cars. This is going to be the technology that will possibly bring us also self-driving cruise ships and planes. So 5G is a big deal. It's about to open up a world of different things. It could be scary, it could be exciting, but yeah, 5G is a big deal. So I think that's something that people kind of overlook. I would say some downs this year. I like to start with the negative and let's work our way up to the positive. I would say some downs this year. Obviously COVID, but COVID's caused a lot of different things like loss of jobs. A lot of people lost jobs this year, unfortunately, and that's really sad and unfortunate. There's a lot of people who are displaced. I mean, shoot, there's still a lot of jobs displaced, right?
I guess so. I mean, I know people have been unemployed, so it has been awful. And then that stimulus package they sent, $1,200.
They had one stimulus package.
That didn't do much for anybody. There are people who are losing homes and getting desperate. And my brother said in Cleveland, a lot of people are basically robbing the Amazon trucks. Out of desperation, you know, they're like, I'm about to get this stuff, I'm about to rob you, whatever I can keep for my family, I will, whatever I can sell. I'm not saying it's okay, it's definitely not okay, but unfortunately, when you don't put people in a situation to feel like they can thrive and survive, desperation happens, and when desperation happens, you start to notice an increase in crime, violence, and things of that nature. So I think that our country is doing us a disservice by leaving so many millions of people out here to figure it out. There are people who probably don't even have a bed to sleep in. So, you know, if you have all of the activity of your limbs, if you have a home, if you have a bed to sleep in, if you have food in your stomach, and you have all of your close loved ones still alive, you are immensely blessed in this season. So, what I have learned during this COVID season is that to count my blessings.
Amen.
I used to be a huge complainer, but I had to nip it in the bud because I realized that things could be a lot worse. My job that gets on my nerves from time to time, it could be a lot worse.
Yeah, Elisa had a comment from my IG audience. He said that a lot of businesses have closed down permanently, you know, and that's true. A lot of them have. A lot of businesses, especially small businesses, couldn't survive. There were some restaurants that pulled it together, right? I mean, you got DoorDash and stuff now.
What happened to that Cheesecake Factory?
Which Cheesecake Factory?
the whole chain. Remember, they was going bankrupt. Remember earlier this year.
I mean, they did get some. Well, so a lot. Speaking of that, like right, you talking about jobs. A lot of businesses got over right because they had those SBA loans and all these various loans that went out. Now there were people out there that scammed. There was somebody. I remember it was a big story from earlier in the year, like around April. There was somebody from Love and Hip Hop or whatever bought like a Lamborghini and all kind of like designer watches using the money. There's a rapper right now, G Herbo, that's in trouble because supposedly somebody from his crew went out there and committed like basically bank fraud, pretended to make these fake LLCs so they could get all that. Because remember, the government was throwing all these loans, these low interest rate loans and these grants and stuff to these businesses, and people were taking advantage of that, and they was going out there like flying and buying trips.
How do you make a fake LLC?
I mean, people were just putting the paperwork. Now it's funny. They checked every nook and cranny to give you $1,200, but when it came to your business loans, they was just giving that away. But eventually, they're gonna audit that, right? Because they want their money back.
Oh, trust me. One thing about the federal government, you gotta give them credit. They may let you get away with something for a year, maybe 2 years, maybe even 3 years. Shoot, maybe 4 or 5. But you best believe by year 5 or 6. Not only will they catch you, they're going to tax you, and they're going to cost interest on it.
Yeah.
So now the original amount that you thought you got away with, you playing double or triple sometimes. So my rule of thumb when it comes to federal government is pay them what you owe them. Because at some point in time, they got the best tax auditors, the best people who are crunching numbers, and they go over it 2 times, 3 times. The government is known to hire criminals. Mm-hmm. If they see that you have a skill set that's higher than most, they'll probably make you do your time, but they probably will lessen your time by saying, you know what, why don't you come and work for the IRS? We can use your abilities. And these folks are professionals, and trust and believe, you may get away with taxes for a while, but after a certain amount of time, you're going to get caught. So just pay them what you owe them.
And then we got some comments from our Facebook audience. So Herman said he's thankful for his job. And he said, yes, there's a lot of people hurting right now. Mamie said, amen, count your blessings. Herman back again, better than most. Amen. Herman was surprised about Cheesecake Factory. Mamie again, she was talking about how she's just thankful for everything that God has given her. Herman brought up Kanye. Good point. He said Kanye took the money. Kanye definitely took the money. But that's Trump's boy, so I'm pretty sure he'll be okay. And he's rich. So those are the kind of people, they got lawyers to keep them out of trouble, but that's a good point. Mamie said, remember, God tells us to do things without complaining. Facts. Herman said, yes, Uncle Sam ain't playing. Ain't that the truth? And Uncle Sam will definitely get his money. I think another thing, dealing with the downs of the year, movies being pushed back kind of suck. Like, there were some great movies supposed to be that then came out, like Free Guy, Spiral. There were a bunch of projects. They finally released Wonder Woman. That's coming out next week on Christmas.
Are they gonna release it in theaters or
no? It's on streaming. It's gonna be on HBO Max. Yep. I want to say Soul is gonna be available as well. That's the Disney Pixar movie.
Wait, so how are the movie theaters gonna get money from that?
They aren't. And movie theaters only make money off of concessions. They don't make money off of ticket sales. A lot of people don't know that.
So they probably have to shut down. They probably have to shut. I wonder if Magic Johnson gonna be able to keep his theaters open because he was barely making it before COVID.
Well, he had already sold a bunch of his to AMC anyways, or partnered with them, so he'll probably be all right. So Elisa said, gratitude is her new word. I feel you, sister, on that. We have to be grateful and gracious for those who have made it this far. It is definitely a blessing. A lot of the events got canceled too, like I was talking about earlier. Weddings, parties and trips, concerts. Matter of fact, you're supposed to do your bridal shower at Essence, and Essence got canceled. And that was a whole debacle with the money, from what I understand, correct? Right?
Huge debacle.
Because I think they had committed so much money to it, and they were having issues giving people, the artists, and then the artists didn't want to give the money back, even though there's been no Essence. So but they took their money, and then the people that
had to fight for our money to get back.
Yeah.
I didn't get my money back until about, let's see, we paid for that before July. So we paid all of our stuff in full, like December. I didn't get my money back till about maybe August. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so that was crazy. Then I would say Trump and his followers got on everybody's nerves this year. At this point, only about 25% of his base is still rocking with him. Everybody else is like, all right, come on, guys, let's get back to normal. You guys are tripping. But they didn't get on our nerves since the Black Lives Matter protests. They got on our nerves during COVID. They're still getting on our nerves in dealing with the election. y'all just need to go take several seats somewhere and just relax, because y'all been getting on everybody's nerves. Something else that's been getting on people's nerves, and it's the sad part is it's your own kids. Distance learning. Distance learning has been hard on a lot of people. Like, there's people who are losing their minds. Like, I've been in so many meetings on, like video where, somebody's kids run out butt naked and stuff like that. It just be like a trip. Like, them kids being at home have been stressing people out. They've been eating people out of the house and home. So, yeah, like, distance learning has been crazy. We've had countless teachers speak on it here, even on the show, about, it's not the best environment for our kids to learn. A lot of professionals are worried that the kids are behind. So that's been crazy. Elisa from our IG audience said, I'm sure insurance companies are really suffering. Major League Baseball is suing. Oh, I didn't even know that. Wow. I mean, but they've had like whole teams catch it.
Why are they? I'm about to look at it. Why are they suing?
Yeah, Lisa enlightened us some more on the MLB. I thought it was in relation to COVID, but I know that that's been crazy.
Is it because they can't start their season? I'm trying to understand why not. Everybody else playing.
Yeah, but I mean, some sports. I mean, well, football. The fact that they're still doing football in COVID and with all the various infections they had, that's crazy to me. But and then
it says MLB sues insurance providers, cites billions in losses related to COVID-19.
Okay, yeah, so they're suing in relation to COVID.
I don't understand.
I guess because because of COVID, yeah, think about it, people can't go to large stadiums. Baseball really relies on they don't get
insurance.
So you got to think baseball, they really rely on people showing up to the games, right? So when they're suing, it's because it's like, okay, they lost so much money because people couldn't show up to the games. You get what I'm saying?
But football, no. I'm saying football also relies on people coming too.
They do, but the difference is football and the NBA get so much money from endorsements and they get so much money from television viewings. People don't really watch baseball on television at the same rate. They'd rather go to the ball game and just chill and buy from the vendors and things like that. Different mechanism for how the money is made. You get what I'm saying? So, different kind of thing there. Yeah, and like Elisa just brought up, she said loss of seat sales, they have it insured.
The seat sales are insured.
They need the seat sales in order to survive. They can't survive without the seat sales. Basketball and football are popular enough. They could find inventive ways to still bring in and make a profit. But baseball, not so much. They really need people there at the venues to make their money.
Well, I know this is not part of the topic, but I am. It's weird to me because what the NBA did was they started to they gave a discount rate for you to join in virtually in the games, and then they had people on the thing. So I'm trying to understand why you couldn't join in virtually for baseball.
Baseball is a different kind of sport. It's a pastime that people tend to show up there for. I'll never watch baseball on television, but every year with my company, I get tickets to go to a Nationals game, and I'll go or Orioles game, and I actually kind of enjoy myself.
You don't be watching the World Series?
I watched the World Series only that one time because the Nationals were in there. Outside, and even then, I passively watch the games. I typically would have it up on my tablet while I play video games at the same time. I didn't really actively watch the game the same way. You get what I'm saying? It's just different. It's not like basketball and football where you really watch. And I know there's some baseball fans out there, but let's be honest, baseball's experience is better done in person than actually watching on television. Because it's kind of a boring sport.
Your mom said her grandbaby Gabrielle is a mastermind in virtual learning. All right, Miss Gabby.
Oh, okay. Do your thing, Gabby. This was a somber year too. We experienced a lot of death. Just to name a few, and it's going to sound like a lot when I name them all, but really it's a few if you think about the greater list of people that passed away. But we had Kobe and Gianna Bryant passed away at the beginning of the year.
That was bad.
Tiny Lester, everybody know him as Debo from the Friday movies. He just passed away recently. We had rapper Pop Smoke, Herman Cain. A lot of people are probably surprised I brought up Herman Cain, but Herman Cain, a Republican that rode hard, not wearing his mask, died, and you didn't really see the Republican Party give a darn about his passing. I thought that was sad. Mo3, rapper, died. I believe he was shot and killed. King Von shot and killed. Chadwick Boseman, that broke a lot of our hearts. Our Black Panther. Yeah, that was sad.
Wakanda forever.
Yeah, that was sad. Herman said, "Hey Katrina, I have never watched a baseball game." Okay, and then Mamie said, "Yes, baseball is better in person. Used to go often with her Aunt Loretta." So
okay, y'all, this is something Juan never knew, but in the '90s, the Indians were really, really good.
I know.
I watched it like all the time.
Oh.
It was like a big deal to watch.
But you probably watched it because you're from Cleveland and the Indians are a Ohio team, so
yeah, I get it. But what I'm saying is, like, we wasn't going to the game. I mean, everybody I knew, even at school, people were watching the game. Like,
yeah, but it's
I knew like the names, and I used to know. I'm just like, I used to watch it. Like, oh, this is a pretty cool sport.
But baseball viewing has gone down significantly from the '90s. Like, I mean, back then you still had Ken Griffey Jr. in the league. You had a lot of
Ramirez.
Yeah, I mean, you had a lot of big stars in baseball. Baseball still has some big stars, but it doesn't even nearly compete against
the '90s.
I mean, these days, what basketball and what football is. Even soccer viewers have gone up. So Herman said, yes, Chadwick Boseman gone way too soon. Definitely way too soon. And for you guys that don't know, he has one last movie that was released. It's Maz. I'm gonna say the movie wrong, but it's on Netflix. And he plays, I think, a musician in the '90s. I'm sorry, in the 1920s or something like that, roaring 20s age. I can't think of the name of the movie. If you guys know it, feel free to shade in the comments. I can't think of it right now. But you can go check that out right now on Netflix. I think it was just released a few days ago. Alex Trebek died from Jeopardy. We have Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away. We have Representative John Lewis. Natalie Desselle Reid, she was in Bats, and what else was she in?
Cinderella
Story with Brandy.
With Brandy, she was in a couple of things. She was always playing like a funny character.
Yeah, Ma Rainey's. It's like Ma Rainey's something, but yeah. Thank you, Elisa. Yeah, Ma Rainey's. It's on Netflix. Okay. Yeah. That's Chadwick Boseman's last movie. FBG Duck, he's a rapper. He passed away. Little Richard passed away this year. I think that went on a lot of people's radar. I don't think a lot of people really paid attention to that one. Or I feel like it didn't get the news coverage, and I don't know what else was going on. I don't feel like it was as big news as it probably should have been.
I mean, Little Richard was
because he's an icon.
Wasn't he considered the godfather of
rock and roll? Darn right. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. That's the whole movie.
So what was Elvis considered?
A plagiarizer, a colonizer. Yeah.
No, but they call him
the king
of rock and roll.
They call him the king of rock and roll.
So he's the godfather. What's the difference between the godfather and the king?
Because that's them attempting to give Little Richard his flowers late, but everybody knows Elvis Presley basically jocked all of those musical greats from that time, from blues, and everybody knows black people definitely created rock.
What's your favorite?
Mamie said he didn't get the news coverage he deserved. That's true.
What's your favorite Little Richard? Put your favorite Little Richard song in the in the comments. Mine would definitely be Tutti Frutti, oh Rudy.
Oh, so Herman said, "Hey Katrina, now I used to be a big cricket fan back in the day in England. Loved to watch the West Indies national team.
I never watched cricket a day in my life.
But that's big. That sport is bigger in Europe. And then in the northeast area of United States, they play it a little bit, but definitely a European game. Let's see. Oh, C.T. Vivian, civil rights pastor and leader from the 60s, passed away this year. Jerry Stiller, Ben Stiller's father, passed away.
I didn't even know Ben Stiller had an acting dad until Juan said, I said, what?
Yeah, then when she saw his face, she's like, oh wow, yeah, I have seen him before.
There's so many kids whose parents acted. Like, I don't think Angelina Jolie would have been put on had it not been for her dad.
Drew Barrymore, countless others. Yeah, lots of celebrity children. Regis Philbin died. Mm-hmm. From the Kelly and Regis show. A lot of people remember him from. Naya Rivera, that was a very sad story. She died trying to save her son from drowning.
She did save him.
She did save him, but the fact, you know, she lost her life in the process. That was really sad. Elisa answered your question. Put down your favorite Little Richard song. She said, "Good golly, Miss Molly." That's a good one. Yeah.
He always got some lyrics that rhyme.
Yeah, and his stuff was. If you listen to his. I was about to get there too, Ma. She said her father died this year. That's right, Richard Stroman, my grandfather. He passed away.
You listen to his lyrics. What about it?
Oh, I was saying Little Richard's lyrics were very raunchy. If you really pay attention to his lyrics, he's definitely talking about some very sexually inspired stuff. Yeah.
Now, Little Richard talking about sexual stuff.
Now, yeah.
Now I'm curious with whom.
I mean, well,
because word on the street was Little Richard was not interested in my gender.
I didn't forget Granddad. I just haven't got through the list yet. But yeah, definitely Richard Stroman.
So
that was very dear to me. My grandfather passed away this year. Brent from our IG audience, he put up Bill Withers, and I didn't have Bill Withers on the list. So yeah, Bill Withers.
Oh wow, that's the one that Lovely Day.
Yep, Lovely Day. And
that's
actually
a lot of people.
Actually, Bill Withers died the same week my grandfather died, and I remember playing his music in honor of my grandfather right here on the Nitty Gritty Show.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Bill Withers does not look the way he sounds to me.
No. And then after him, and I'll run through these names really quick. We had Betty Wright, Andre Harrell, Rocky Johnson. That was the Rock father. He was a pro wrestler. Kenny Rogers and Sean Connery. Yeah, to name some celebrities.
And as these people you're saying who've passed away, literally a day ago, Cicely Tyson had a birthday.
Yeah.
I mean, when I'm saying she's aging gracefully.
What is she, 96, 97 now?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, with her, you look at her, it's like, she here to stay.
Yeah, she ain't going nowhere. But yeah, and then
Gone too soon?
No.
Well, people always say that with these kind of deaths.
No, you can't say that about her. But then personal deaths, yes. Aunt Florence died. Once again, my grandfather, Richard Stroman. Richard Stroman fought in the Korean War. He came from a sharecropper background. My grandfather worked really hard as he was a carpenter by trade. He always used to remind us that, hey, Jesus was a carpenter. So
what did he build?
He actually built homes. He did a lot of construction work out in Manhattan back in the day in the 50s. Then in the later 50s, he came to D.C., where he started building construction under the Housing Authority, or HUD. And then he actually became the chief director of the Housing Authority here in D.C.
So does he have some property that he built that he pointed out to you guys?
I mean, a lot of the government housing. So like some of the stuff out in Anacostia, he was over some of those kind of like upholding some of those builds. Not necessarily new construction. A lot of some of the redesigns of some of the government buildings in D.C. He was a part of some of that work too, as well. So He did a lot. Herman said Cicely Tyson, 96 from Mamie, and they said she's gonna live forever. I believe she will. I forgot Charlie Pride. Elisa said Charlie Pride died. I'm trying to remember the best way to describe
Charlie Pride is.
Yeah, but he passed away. Another close death to me, my cousin Brian Ross passed away, and that was only just a few months ago this year. And there was a lot of people that passed away, close family members and friends. So we definitely share a prayer to all those people. That was really sad. But at this point, I want to make it positive again, and let's just talk about some of the ups. This year we went through a lot, right? But there were some cool things that happened this year that we can be excited about. Verses. I'm a big fan of verses. For those who
love verses.
Oh man, I love verses. So
I get annoyed with verses.
That's right. There you go. Brent was saying Charlie Pride was known. He was the first black country singer. Charlie Pride. That's why I couldn't get it out. I was about to say blues. So thank you, Brent.
Verses, the only thing about verses I like when I guess they tell a story of their creative process behind the song. Mm-hmm. But for someone like me who genuinely loves to sing and loves live music, after a while it just doesn't do it for me, because it's like you're playing the song. I want to see, I appreciate Alicia Keys and John Legend,
that verse,
because they were able to play. I appreciate one of my favorite verses was Kirk Franklin and Fred Hammond.
And they brought so many people out.
That's what I'm saying, but it was like a live concert, so I felt like, okay, this is great. Jill Scott and Erykah Badu was good because they told stories.
But you gotta think, that was so I think the first one to go live together was Bounty Killer and Beanie Man. And that was a straight up concert. Shout out to West Indies.
That was good.
Yeah, that was good. And then after that, they started doing it where they did they would get their temperature checks and everybody would do their COVID test.
Like Randy and Monica was entertaining.
Yeah,
but I guess what I'm saying is, if I don't love your music, then to hear it played, it's just like, okay, after 15, 20 minutes, I'm kind of I'm bored. If you are a celebrity and you claim to be a singer or you claim to be a rapper, I feel like you should know your own lyrics. And these people don't even know their own lyrics.
That's true.
That's crazy to me.
They got some lyrics. But then, now to Too Short's credit, he's put out at least 15, 20 different albums. Hundreds of songs.
Doesn't matter. You're getting paid millions to put on concerts.
But he was trying to rap an old song that from the 80s. Think about how much. Think about it. Can you remember every poem or every song you wrote? You get what I'm saying? That's a lot.
I didn't produce. I ain't.
I'm just saying, but that's a lot of stuff to remember. So
okay, I guess I can do that.
Especially if you're not planning far in advance to perform that song.
What it tells me is that you don't write your own stuff.
Nah, that's not true. I mean,
That's what they tell me.
that's I'm just saying, like that's a lot of stuff to remember. They write a lot. I tell you one thing I have enjoyed though was theater stuff being like released at home, like watching movies from home. Because like why get up to go to a movie theater and be around people? Sometimes you have to deal with somebody talking. There's that obnoxious person in the movie theater that wants to talk
this
in
is
the
a
movies.
whole bunch of hogwash coming from Juan DaCosta. Let me tell you about Juan DaCosta, y'all. Juan DaCosta has a movie membership with AMC. And prior to COVID, Juan used to ask me, are you going to be free around 5 o'clock? No, I don't get off until 5 o'clock. Well, I'm going to movie theater. And faithfully every Tuesday, Juan will be at somebody's theater watching a brand new movie.
That's because I want to see the movie. But to have that experience at home now is better than being at the theater. I was only pressed to go to the theater because I really want to see the Marvel movie come out first.
Pressed with a capital P.
Yeah, I'm a movie buff.
To the point where he would be rushing me talking about I gotta see all the previews and I gotta get there first. I mean, when we go to movie theaters, Juan and I are literally sitting in an empty, dark theater, we're looking at the screen going over and over again. I'm just like, we're here 30 minutes before the previews.
You want to be there on time, you know?
That's beyond on time.
I mean, like those Avengers movies and stuff.
He said movie membership, yes.
A lot of what's good, Casey in the building. What's good? Hey,
Juan
this is our year in review.
Not mad at all. Juan has an AMC movie membership to the point where at this point when we go, we are bound to get a free popcorn because just your boy here has watched 1,000 movies. There's not one movie that
I used
he
to work at
hasn't
Hollywood
seen.
Video back in the day. So, you know, I watched a lot of movies.
And your daddy said movie buff, like exclamation point. All he do was sit around and watch movies all day long. He watched everything. Every time I feel like, oh, maybe Juan ain't seen this. Oh, I've seen it 5 times.
Look, I like movies, y'all. What can I say? Another big highlight this year was DJ D Nice talking about social media. He club quarantine.
Yeah, that was dope.
And I mean, it was just so organic the way he did it. He wasn't thinking like, oh, I'm about to make myself a big name from this. He was just kind of like, one day he just felt like DJing. He went live on Instagram.
And then everybody tried to follow, but I mean, it wasn't D
But
Nice.
nobody else doesn't really like D Nice. Like this was dope. Herman said he's the complete opposite. Yeah, Dad's not a big movie guy.
At least it's not scary movies. No, Juan like every movie. Juan like scary, drama, sci-fi, any and all movies. There's not one genre that I don't think Juan doesn't like. Is there? You like everything.
Yeah, I pretty much can watch anything.
I don't like super scary movies.
Lisa said you don't want to hear any movie spoilers. Facts. I can't stand movie spoilers. That's one of the nice things about being one of the first people to go see it. For you guys that don't know, traditionally when the movies were open, they always announce the Friday date, but technically they come out Thursday at 7 p.m. Right? So if it's announced for Friday, it's technically available in the theater Thursday at 7 p.m. And you can watch it there, don't have to worry about any spoilers, and just enjoy the movie.
This guy was so mad when Black Panther came out because we weren't able to see it the first weekend.
Yeah, that hurt my feelings.
He was so mad. We saw it like the second weekend, but not the first weekend.
Yeah, I was pressed to see it first weekend. A lot of McKinney said DJ D Nice
was doing the Lord's work.
He was like, they gave him awards and everything and all kind of appreciation because it was something to keep people's minds at ease during the pandemic.
And they enjoyed it.
You're stuck at home. And I still tune in every now and then when he like DJs because it'd be dope.
Now, you did say we're talking about the ups, right? You said we're talking about the ups right now, right? Well, a lot of people got a lot of ups and pounds because of quarantine.
I mean, yeah, people did go up in pounds. But you know what? I think it's one extreme or the other when it comes to weight, right? I
did gain weight in the beginning of quarantine.
I think people either gained weight or they really got in shape because it's like, well, I don't have to. For some folks, you were able to work from home, so some people took advantage of it. And
when I got on the scale, I saw the number. I said, "Who is this?" I mean, I was the size of 2 people, so I had to get it together and I had to lose some weight.
Yeah, some people love weight went up. I mean, because hey, you at home, you eating, you snacking, you door dashing, and you Uber eating and all that stuff.
Listen, and the thing is, it's not just like common folks. Like I'm watching the new season of Housewives of Atlanta. They all have put on weight, and it's noticeable. It's like even the celebrities like gained weight.
Yeah, or it was I think the extreme, which is a lot of people got in great shape.
True.
Some people were like, hey, you know what? I got more time on my hands.
That's true.
I'll work out more. I'll go run because a lot of people just to get out the house, to go somewhere, people were outside running. It was nice to go out to some of the parks. To see more of us, more minorities actually taking advantage of being at the park and running and getting in shape. So some people really got in great shape. I know a couple of people, friends of mine, that lost a lot of weight because they took up running.
Your dad be, boy, he be killing it. Come on.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, shout out to my dad.
100-mile challenge last month. So he did 100 miles in 1 month?
Yeah, 100 miles. Either
Wow.
walking, elliptical, running, something. But he did 100 miles.
I feel like the
Yeah.
way your father work out, he's gonna always have be in great health.
Yeah, he always been in good shape to me. A
I
lot
was
of
slim during quarantine. Even got down to my goal. But well, girl, you know.
yeah. Well, you
things
know
happen.
what? Anyway, she made me think of something else. But quarantine babies, right? So there was a lot of people that had quarantine babies this year.
Child.
So I mean, people were cooped up at home.
Everybody I know has a baby, except for me, because I have a wedding to attend. And speaking of a wedding, I got my second dress today, guys.
Oh Lord. But yeah, quarantine
Yes.
babies. People were cooped up at home, and I guess those relationships where folks do. Because listen, quarantine was hard on relationships, right? Either people were getting along, or they weren't getting along.
Who's
And
to
I
say
guess.
if me and you was married, we may have had a quarantine baby.
Oh Lord, thank God we weren't then. Jesus.
Who's to say we not married? But I'm just saying, if we was married, happy in love, we may have had a quarantine baby.
Yeah, I'm happy we didn't have no quarantine baby. But anyway, I'm just saying, some folks is getting along really good. So good. Y'all got babies on the way come January, February, March, April, and so forth and so on.
I know a lot of people who said, "Cat, I got a little bun in the oven." So I know about
I mean,
5.
something was going right at some point. Y'all got the babies on the way.
All I'm saying is that must mean that there was a lot of love to give during quarantine.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you was married, I ain't mad at you.
That's what's up. Hey, look, you know that baby came out of love, whatever.
Quarantina, that was a name I heard of.
Yeah, there was a lot of people were naming their baby COVID and stuff like that.
Quarantina.
I don't know if I'm feeling the COVID and quarantine names.
Come on, Quarantina.
But hey, shout out to them babies. Of course, I gotta mention this one, right? So Joe Biden and Kamala Harris being elected.
Come on, Soul War.
So let's talk about Kamala Harris real quick. So we have. Yeah, shout out AKAs. I see y'all. So first AKA obviously. First Asian American. First Caribbean American. First African American. First woman. First D9, first HBCU grad. She checks so many darn boxes. Yeah,
that's why it's like hard.
As vice president.
And you know that's why people are going to be so hard to fulfill her legacy. I mean, at this point, if you want to go above and beyond Kamala, am I saying it right? Kamala. You've got to become the daggone president because she just was checking the boxes like nobody's business. So. Shout out to the K's. Hey.
Alright, that's what's up. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, like shout out to her. I mean, that's what's up. Now we just need to make sure they get the work done.
Why is everybody more excited about Kamala than Joe Biden? It's funny that people like he's like an afterthought. It's like
yeah, it's all about her. I mean, for real. And then something else big that happened this year. LeBron got his 4th ring with the Lakers.
Come on, LeBron.
That was big. I enjoyed that series. I mean, the bubble was tough to play in. I don't think people realize that. People don't want to give him his credit, but
come on,
those conditions had to be hard to play in. So shout out to LeBron. Oh, another big one to me. I've been meaning to bring this up the Nitty Gritty Show for the last 3 weeks. But you know, for those that don't know, breakdancing became an official Summer Olympic sport.
Yes.
So yeah, we will see breakdancing at the Summer Olympics. And it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be challenging because, I mean, I think France and Korea and the Philippines and Japan, they're going to give America a run for their money. Oh, and I can't forget Brazil. Listen, if you watch any of these like worldwide hosted dance competitions, there's some dope dancers.
Gonna be part of the breakdance.
I'm gonna be another pop lock. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was disappointed in was not seeing the Olympics because you know I love to watch track and field when it comes to the Olympics.
I'm gonna say riding with body.
Your dad said Kamala.
Yeah,
you know I don't know why I have a hard time. I think it's because how it's spelled does not coincide.
I think
with
it would be
English
easier if it was
language.
a C. If it was a C, I think most Americans would say it easier. I think the K throws a lot of us off.
Cause K is like like Katrina, Catherine. You know what I mean? So I understand the K. She should have put a C there. Just saying.
She's Indian though, so I mean, you know, different spellings, different pronunciations, you know, depending on dialect. So you got to consider that too. Kamala.
I mean, me being black and her being Maso, I need to get it together. It's the truth. It just doesn't.
If you're gonna brag on her, you gotta say her name right.
It's true. It just doesn't go with the way we enunciate our words for the English language. I didn't.
Elisa said, she said the breakdancing event will be amazing. Yes, I'm super excited about that. So
and your dad said riding with Biden.
Yeah, and then Elisa made a good point. A lot of people are not excited about Joe because Joe been around forever. I mean, he was just the vice president not too long ago. So.
Joe's history was also questionable.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, with Joe being president, I hope he can handle the stress. Just saying, he's quite up in age. He had a hard time with them questions.
Real quick. My mom put down that, back in the day I used to break dance as a kid. Herman said breakdance in Olympic sport. I wonder how many black and brown athletes will be represented in that sport.
It's gonna be a lot of Asians.
I tell you, there's gonna be a lot of Asians. There's gonna be a lot of people. Period. Different, all the ethnics and creeds coming out of Europe. Because I mean, Denmark.
Who you think gonna represent for the U.S.? New York. I
mean, most of the break dancers here in the U.S. are either in New York or L.A. So I'm just saying, it's gonna be interesting. Real quick, because we're running out of time. You guys, give me, what are you most thankful for this year? I want to see it in the comments.
And what are you most thankful for?
I have to say family and the little things. You know what I'm saying? I thank God for technology. Because if I had to deal with COVID during any other time in the history, I would have lost my mind. But I think the ability to stream, to play video games, a lot of us was able to work from home, things of that nature. I thank God for the little things, those little things kind of made COVID manageable. The ability to go to a grocery store and cook a dope meal,
You know what I'm thankful for?
What's that?
I'm thankful for you.
Oh, but of course, that was really my number one. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That was really.
I just figured, to be able to, go through quarantine with somebody like Juan.
It makes it easier.
Well, there were some challenges.
Oh, yeah. I've been on somebody's nerve. You know what I'm saying? I know I done worked for every last nerve a few times.
There were some challenges. I'm thankful for my fiance, and I also am thankful for my job.
And Lana made a good point. She said life period because a whole lot of folks didn't make it. Amen to that. So,
look, so your dad was on the same page as me. He said he's thankful for his wife Denise being his best cheerleader.
Amen to that.
You see how Herman thought of Denise first, and how I thought of you first, Juan.
Mm-hmm.
See that?
Yeah, okay, I got you. Lisa said family increasing wealth. Amen to that.
Your mama said she thanks God for everything that he has given her. And Herman said, so sweet. Tell it, Katrina. See? Selflessness. I'm right.
You're right. And then, so I still got some more shout outs. I just wanted to start getting ready to cue up some of my music real quick. And then, you caught me off guard when you tapped my arm. I was like, so are you ready? Are you ready? And I wasn't quite ready yet. But it's cool. It's cool. It's cool,
like I said, she thankful for her family and friends and safety.
I got some Common playing in the background. What Do You Say off a Beautiful Revolution album. Oh, so anyways, I got some big shout outs. I got to shout out everybody this year that helped out the Nitty Gritty Show.
Yep.
If you don't know, we launched the Soapbox this year.
Sure did.
That comes out on that's on Wednesdays. Where you can get up and just kind of talk about anything. It doesn't have to be political. It doesn't have to be social activism or politics or relationships. You can talk about whatever. We have people talk about everything from COVID to distance learnings to being annoyed with people and how they operate in lines. Okay? We talk about it all. And some of our special guests included Tiffany from Michelle Lashes. We had Simone from Peace Be Still Yoga. We had some of our TNGS regulars, such as Simona White, Stephen Powell, Sven Wereru. We had Paul Thompson from the Love Seat. Be featured on the Soapbox. We had Joel Gamble, former MFL player for the Titans, the Browns, and the Eagles. And we had Jonine Ford from Ford Wellness. And then on our TNGS Live, this current platform, we had the Haters come on, Anthony and Vicky, and they gave a great show. For you guys who haven't seen that, go rewatch that relationship episode with Anthony and Vicky Hater. That was great. We learned so much from that. Shout out to them. Jonine came on TNGS Live. Simona, Amir Paul was our first guest of the year. He came on. Remember we talked about relationships and child support and all that. Remember?
He had a lot to talk about.
Oh yeah. Sven Wereru. We had Steven. Ryan Butler from Coalition Property Group came on. And last but not least, she was our last guest of the year. Elisa Seth. She came on, and that was, for those that haven't seen that, you will learn so much about real estate. That was a great episode.
We can't forget, and Christopher McKinney won the Black Trivia. We did Black Trivia this year.
We did Black Trivia. We gave away prizes. Shout out to Siobhan Chase. Shout out to Chris McKinney. Shout out to Lana McKinney. And shout out to Mamie Altar.
Right? Cook, yep.
Yeah. So cool on that. And then we got a bunch of birthdays. I'm gonna name them all because we don't have another show until January 10th.
Okay.
We're taking a hiatus for 2 weeks. So we had Andrew DeCosta, shout out cuz, Brian Mahone, church brother. We had Crystal Carter, Reggie Poitras. We had Alan Simmons, Carol Powell, Arnita Sims, Siobhan Chase, Ellery Edwards, Willie Simmons, Deidre Moore, Rodney Pryor, Maria MC, Nathaniel Hollis, Eric Sproul, David Ross, Chloe Davis, Gary Thomas, Alexis Morris, Will Jawando, been on the show a bunch of times, Ryan Butler, Kenneth Williams, Keenan Lamb, Kamisha Jones, Van Jones, Leon Rory, and Sherrod Cooley all have birthdays coming up between now and the next show. When we come back January 10th, I'll have a very special birthday announcement for someone very true and dear in my life. And I did not forget the most important birthday going on during this time. I didn't even have to write it down because I know it. December 29th, my boo, y'all girl, y'all all know her, Katniss, Katrina Hawkins, most beautiful woman in my life. Yes, her birthday is during this time frame as well.
And your mom is a Capricorn with me. Hey, Mama Utar.
That's the other special birthday, January 10th.
And Amira, right?
Yep, January 18th.
We're all Capricorns.
So we're going to be shouting them out when we come back.
All right. And Lana said, even though this is the last show of 2020, we plan to say Happy Holidays and Happy New Year. See y'all in 2021. She also said, so thankful for the Nitty Gritty keeping us informed this year. 2020 is going to be greater. She said her husband is a smart black guy. She said, Katrina. So yes, my birthday is December 29th. Don't forget it. I am 4 days after Christmas. It's going to be lit. I'll be here, but I'll be celebrating it probably with your family in Nashville, more than likely.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to that. Once again, I'm playing Common. This is his song called What Do You Say? Featuring PJ. It's off his Beautiful Revolution album. He actually wrote it while on the campaign trail, assisting the Biden campaign, which I thought was really dope. I wanted to end it on a positive note. Common always is a nice bop. This song is definitely a vibe. We're going to be grooving to it. Once again, thank you all so much for supporting the Nitty Gritty Show. And we're streaming now on all platforms. So, hey, we can't do it without you guys.
And for those who were late, merch. Make sure you get it.
Yeah.
We're rocking our merch today.
www.squadlocker.com. You have to search the Nitty Gritty Show, the whole thing, like a Tribe Called Quest. The Nitty Gritty Show. Go get yourself some merch. Once again, thank you guys. Look, it's your boy, Jay DeCosta.
And it's your girl, Katniss.
And together we are the Nitty Gritty. We are out. See you in 2021. We out of here, baby. See ya, IG.